Hello, Fear the Meerkat here. Welcome to another episode of Final Fantasy VI. I would suggest going in here because you can find some useful items and some useful knowledge here. So now I have already seen this, so unless I have an interesting comment to make about anything, I'm not going to bother to read them. So what I would suggest is that you pause it yourself and read the information, and I will be giving you useful information as I have been giving you so far myself as the game goes on. So you'll get the information anyway, but if you want to hear or read their advice rather, then please just pause it. Unfortunately, there are no shops here for us to buy items. Yes, we will be seeing those soon. Forgot there's a side point here. Might as well save it here, why not? It's a good idea to. You only get told this twice so far in the game. Maybe in the instruction manual it tells you, but it is a good idea to pay attention to this because you will need to buy these later and you'll not have this information to hand, as it were, when you buy them. You'll see what I mean later. But I will talk about these things later as well, so you will be able to know this information. That guy just wanders around for some reason. That's fun at children's parties and Jack-in-the-Boxes. These creatures here, but never mind. The reason I'm not gonna do that, set it to wait, is because I don't want the battle to be overlong, basically. Since it's you, the viewers who are watching it, I don't want to make it long and boring for you. And sometimes, if you use an elemental attack like fire, for example, against an enemy, that enemy's health will actually increase. So it is occasionally useful to notice on an enemy if the attack you've done is actually increasing the enemy's health. We are actually going to go in here, firstly because I'm pretty certain there's an item in here, and secondly I'm not sure whether I'll bother to come back here later on or not. But you actually turn into an imp or a zombie with the status attack, so yes, that's another thing. You also need to look to see if using a potion on an enemy actually decreases its health, but I will be talking about that more later. Maybe not in this episode, but later. So see, I'm fairly certain that if it's an ice kind of enemy, Fire won't will actually increase its health. I think that's how it works. And we will be getting those two powers later, I suspect. Presumably these are all people that have gone out and already been adventurers themselves and fought monsters, and then they decide instead of continuing with that, they're gonna do this. So I'm just gonna save it again. But yeah, that's pretty much all we can get from this. Oh, wait, I need to remember this. You need to remember when you get there that you need to press the save button to actually save it. One of the reasons why I'm rushing through that is it's a bit boring, but another reason is just because actually sometimes I make mistakes, and I've actually ended up recording this twice because I made a mistake, to put it simply, and yeah, I've already done this once, but then my characters died, so I was showing off new creatures, but I'm also going to try to go up a level whilst I'm out here and sort of do grinding, which means going up, attacking lots of creatures at random, going into random battles like this in order to level up, and for no other reason than that. Not something I have to do, but something that I'm going to do to level up, and that gets a bit boring, so I'm not really going to show all of the battles off. Okay, this is the overworld. As you can see, there's a map of the overworld to the right. We're in one small section of it. At the moment we can't travel across water. That little red dot represents us. And at the moment we can't travel across these mountains either. Something like this is a wooded area, whereas something like this is a grass area. Leaf bunnies are, of course, rabbits on top of leaves, so they're very scary and dangerous, clearly. See, that 42 and that 50 was in white there, so that's actually damaging them. I like the little sort of touches of this game, I think. For example, a little shield coming out from the character when an attack misses, for example. I like the little touches like that. It's one of the things that makes this game interesting. As I was saying, I made a mistake earlier, and that's because I did not revive. I did not keep Terra's health up, so I'm really emphasizing how important it is to not let their health go below 30 if you can. And I might as well show you what happens when we try to go to Figaro now. This is something that is pointless to do. And so you've got this background of mountains here and this foreground of sort of rocks and grass, and that's just looks nice as well. You know, that's another nice touch. And it's just really good. So when you get, it looks really interesting. And when you get something like this, or in the rocks, it's a cave. And that is a thing I can't pronounce. Which is a bird we can ride around on. And we've already been told about that. See, we're not allowed through at the moment. Ah, right, Terra's 1 level above, and she's learned a new attack, which I believe allows her to cure poison. Yep. So you can see how many hit points and magic points she has there, but here's the other interesting thing that I don't think I showed off before. It tells you how much experience you need to get to the next level. And of course the amount that you need goes up each time that you increase level. So at the moment we have 702 and we're going to need 354 to get up to the next level. But she is at level 6 and Locke is a level above her, but if I'm right, he's pretty close to the next level. Yeah, 298. I might see if I can get him to go up a level as well. And I'll show you where we're heading, hopefully. Oh, these things are really annoying. The desert creatures are generally more powerful than the grass and forest creatures. I'm not sure why, but they are. So if you paused it earlier, you will have noticed that you need to fill up these 2 bars on the right with 66 and 45 written next to them. And those bars will need to slowly fill up until they're completely full, and then you can attack again. So you can't attack until that point. And this is a castle that we're making for, but I don't want to go there yet because I want to keep on getting experience here. I'm not sure if all of the Final Fantasy games are set in the same world. I suspect that they're not. We have a new monster here, obviously. I don't know much about them though. So yeah, he gets onto one knee like that when he's badly damaged enough. And this is another little thing that I like, which is when she's saying a spell, a magic spell, you'll see her actually saying it. So I think that's quite cool. But yeah, I would say probably they're not, because if I remember correctly, Figaro is not allowed in Final Fantasy III for the Nintendo DS. It's not one in Final Fantasy VII, which are the other 2 games I've played to any great length. anyway. I had a quick look at Final Fantasy VIII. It didn't look very good. But yeah, so I don't think they are. But then again, there are some creatures that quite that appear in both, in all of the games, or at least the majority of the games, as far as I know. So there's that. So I'm not sure. I like the fact that I can use these things outside of battle. It makes it much easier. He's got plenty of magic power left at this stage, so... And sometimes the desert creatures attack in threes as well. I think they do that more often than the non-desert creatures do. So that's another annoying thing about them. And at last, he's gained a level. So it's time to go to our destination. You'll find grinding like this quite useful for fighting bosses and stuff like that. I really like the design for this castle, and there is a reason why it's got these fans on it that you'll find out about later. Such imaginative design work in this game, and it stopped working for some reason. Well, I guess that might have to be it for this episode. I suppose I will see you next time.